Afternoon. I'll be calling this meeting to order. I would like to begin by acknowledging that we are in Treaty 1 territory and the traditional homeland of the Métis Nation. My name is Marla Billinghurst and I'll be chairing the panel this afternoon. To my left is Mr. Brent McIntyre and to my far left is Ms. Lynn Nesbitt. The assessor this afternoon is Mr. Mark Colatrulio. Oh, good, yeah. Thank you. Okay. And our recording secretary is Ms. Kara Belshaw. Oh yeah, what am I sorry?
Sorry.
Isn't Huda Aziz. Sorry, I forgot your last name.
Okay.
And I'm just reading it, not paying attention. We'll be hearing applications for revision of the assessment roll in accordance with the Municipal Assessment Act. The matters for which revision is requested have been described in each application, and we will limit discussion to those matters. The statements that applicants or the assessor make at this hearing are sworn testimony, and anyone speaking to the matters must be sworn in. Be advised that comparisons of assessments of properties are not considered evidence of market value by the Board of Revision. The Board of Revision is appointed annually by Council and is independent of it and the City Administration. It makes its decisions on the basis of the evidence provided at this hearing and issues a written order that will be mailed to all parties as soon as possible. Please note that the Board's decisions with respect to an application may be appealed to the Manitoba Municipal Board if the matter pertains to assessed value or classification, or to the Court of Queen's Bench if the matter pertains to the application of exemptions from taxation. Should you wish to appeal, information on how to do so will be included with the Board's order. With respect to the hearing process today, I will confirm the matters to be addressed with each applicant following the swearing in. We will then have the assessor's testimony, followed by questions that the applicant may have, and then the applicant's testimony, followed by questions. Each side will have an opportunity to summarize if they wish. Once all the evidence about an application has been brought forward, the applicant may leave. The process will repeat for each item on the docket today. The session will close after all the applications have been heard, and the Board will deliberate in private and make its decisions. You will receive the order by registered mail as soon as possible. As information, all public hearings are live streamed, recorded, and will be part of the public record. May I also ask that everyone turn off their cell phones, please. Okay, the first matter on the docket this afternoon will be 260 Henderson Highway.
That's the email.
Right.
Yeah, so not here.
Okay, so yes, we'll still deal with it. So can you swear in the assessor, please?
Do you like to swear in or affirm?
I'll swear in.
Okay. Please state your full name.
Mark Colatrulio.
And do you swear the evidence you're about to present is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
So I do have a recommendation on this file. And I did speak with the gentleman, the owner, this morning. He did indicate that he was going to be trying to come here, so I don't know if we would...
Did receive communication from him. He's unable to attend.
Okay.
But he's accepting the recommendation.
Okay, yeah, so then I'll circulate the rec for you guys. Keep one for myself. So we'll start with the file number 19-370. The applicant is National Media Properties Incorporated. Roll number 1408-185-7100. The address is 260 Henderson Highway. The roll year under appeal 2020 with an April 1st, 2018 reference date. The assessed value under appeal $365,000. Class code 60 taxable. Currently we have this listed as a retail store, one building, one premise, one story. The land area here is 4,111 square feet with a gross floor area of 3,587 square feet. The recommendation is based on a review of some building plans that were submitted with a permit for this building. The initial area that we had at 3,587 was incorrect. The actual leasable area there is 3,400 square feet. And there was a slight adjustment to the effective age of the property The workup that you see is the new value that I am proposing at $318,000, and there we're using 3,400 square feet at $7.93 a square foot for a potential rent of $26,962, 6% vacancy, 2% non-recoverable expense allowance, shortfall at $650 a square foot for an NOI of $23,511, and an overall cap rate of 7.4% for the capitalized and rounded value at $318,000. Thank you. That's my presentation.
Thank you very much. Any questions? Ms. Nesbitt?
I have no questions.
Mr. McIntyre?
So you've adjusted the rent as well?
Yeah, so with the effective age, the rent came down a bit.
Okay.
Also, the change in area will affect the model and how it applies to rent.
That was it.
Great, I have no questions. Thank you very much. Which address are you here for?
3 of them.
Oh. Except the last one.
101, 102, 55 Nassau, and 3 St. Mary's Road.
Oh, okay, thank you. Okay, so the next matter is 3 St. Mary's Road.
Would you like to swear in or affirm? Is there another Bible? Please state your full name.
Giuseppe Bova?
And do you swear the evidence you're about to present is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. You may be seated.
So just before I begin on this particular property, the brief does show that there is a request for non-compliance. However, we do have the mailer for this property. It did show up just a few days after the cutoff. In this instance, because of how the long weekend fell and the deadline falling on the Sunday of a long weekend, there is a plausible chance that the mailer was submitted prior to that deadline and just didn't get processed in the office until after. In this instance, we're not going to be seeking the penalties.
Oh, okay. Please
So I will
proceed with your
just start
presentation.
with my presentation. File number 19-324. The applicant is Italcan Investments Incorporated. Roll number 0609-3277100. The address is 3 St. Mary's Road. The roll year is 2020 with an April 1st, 2018 reference date. The assessed value under appeal, $1,681,000. Classification is class code 60 and taxable. And we currently have this property listed as a strip mall, 1 building, 4 premises, 1 story, an actual year built of 1998. The land area there, 23,423 square feet. The gross floor area of the building, 6,523 square feet, and the leasable area, 6,670 square feet. On page 2, you'll see that the owner has responded to both of our requests for information. You'll see that there is 1 lease in place that shows for the chiropractic clinic, 3,000 square feet is the premise area, and the net rent there is $15 a square foot. The lease start date, August 1st, 2013. Page 3, you'll see some of the rental comparables that I looked at for analyzing this particular property. I tried to stay within the immediate area of the subject property. The subject property, if you look on page 7 or 6, is located at the corner of Marion and St. Mary's. So I did try to stick with rental comparables that were around that area. Back on page 3, you'll see that there is a range in regards to the rental comparables that I looked at, some as low as $11 a square foot and as high as $23 a square foot. Page 4, you'll see the model applied parameters for this particular property. Again, there are 4 premises in place. The rents vary for each premise between $16.86 and $18.29. The total potential rent there, $116,326. We've used a 4% vacancy loss, 2% non-recoverable expense allowance and shortfall at $7 a square foot for a net operating income of $107,572. The cap rate applied by the model 6.40% for a capitalized and rounded value at $1.6 million, $1,681,000. Page 5 is the summary of the income workup. Page 6 and 7, again, some photos of the subject property, including some aerial photos. Page 8, you'll see the street view photos as taken from Google. Page 9 is the income statement that was submitted by the owner for this property. That goes through to page 11 where you see the rent roll. You'll see here that there are some leases in place in regards to the chiropractic center and Torino Tile. Page 12 is some cap rate information in regards to some of the categories for different property types. In this case, we're looking at a strip mall. The city of Winnipeg has between the 20th percentile at 6.4, which is where this property falls, and the 80th percentile at 7.05. Page 13 is some excerpts from the Municipal Assessment Act, and the addenda package is attached to the back. It does have some additional information in regards to the 2020 reassessment and in regards to some additional cap rate information, though I will just give a disclaimer. It has been indicated on page 17 in the retail cap rate tables that 3166 Portage and 3670 Roblin may have been part of a portfolio sale, so keep that in mind when you're reviewing this information. That is all for my presentation for this property. I'm open to any questions.
Thank you very much. Do you have questions for the assessor?
Nothing yet, no.
Okay, thank you very much. Ms. Nesbitt?
Yeah, so you have your rent roll showing three lessees, correct?
Should be.
Correct, yeah.
Okay. Your market income workup on page 4 is showing 4 premises.
Correct.
Can you, and then you've shown a lease on page 2, one lease.
Correct.
The other ones don't have leases? Why is only one subject property lease shown?
Yeah, that's a good question because it does look like Torino Tile would be a net rent, and typically we would include those net rents. Things like if you look at Clarity Vision, they indicate gross rents there. They indicate some free rents. Those things wouldn't be included in our system. That's why it's not
gross.
Yeah, because they're gross, correct. So when we're trying to report on page 2, the subject property leases, those would be any net leases that are in place for.
But yet Torino Tile is showing as a net.
Yeah. So I'm not certain as to why that one wouldn't have gotten tagged by the system.
They should have all been net.
They should all be net leases.
From April 1st, 2018, they were all net as of. Originally they were.
Oh, yeah, so this is the 2017, so this is as of January 1st, 2017. It looks like we received this in May.
Okay, so on your page 4, it looks like, and correct me if I'm wrong, the chiropractic center is probably that first premise, 824188. I'm just looking at the square footage. It's the closest to.
So if you're looking at the top premise of 2,670, I would say that matches up with Clarity. Yeah.
Oh, Clarity.
Yeah, that one's right at the top. They don't show a rent there, but they, like I said, it
Okay,
says
that was a gross lease, right?
gross rent
Clarity
free,
was. Okay.
base rent free.
And what are the next 2 then?
Then it looks like we have the chiropractic at 3,000, which it looks like
Maybe there's
maybe
two
the 2
premises?
premises
Why
associated
would
with
it be
that.
split into 2?
It should be. He has 3 1,000 square foot units.
Okay. And so are they
Torino,
demised?
and then Torino has the final 1,000 square foot unit.
Right. So there is 4 units.
There's 3 tenants occupying 5 units. If you want to
I
get
got it,
confused.
okay. Okay, so then if the 1,700 and 1,300, you're saying that's one unit, correct?
Yeah, if I was to look at it right now, I would say that looks like it matches up with the area for the chiropractic at 3,000, yeah.
Okay, so your model then is overestimating the rent?
Yes, it does appear that way.
Just looking at the subject lease that you've shown and the rent roll. Okay. Okay. Well, you guys have other questions, right?
Thank you very much, Mr. McIntyre.
I have no questions.
And nor do I. So, please proceed with your presentation.
Mine will be a little shorter.
That's
I try to keep it short.
absolutely fine.
Sorry, I took all the time, sorry.
No, you asked the question I wouldn't know to ask, so that's good. Basically, I've only done this a few times, and I usually just use the rent roll and the income method. So I have the actual rents that were charged at that time, and Clarity was at 16, North Chiropractic was at 17, and Twin Tile was at 1550. And so the gross income is $109,000, and the vacancy rate is 10%. I noticed the difference between that and the assessor's rate. And the reason, I'm not sure why he would choose a lower rate, but we've had some issues with renting out to the corner unit. We've had about 5 tenants go through there in the past 15 years. So, and when they leave, it takes quite a while to find someone else, so 6 to 8 months because of the location. And that's the reason for the vacancy rate of 10%. The shortfall rate is $9 because that's what we've used as the Canada tax rate. Management rate's at 5%, the other rate's at 2%, that operating income is at $85,000, a cap rate of 7%, and the market value by income is $1.220,200,000.
Thank you very much. Mr. Assessor, do you have questions for the applicant?
Just to clarify, there is no vacancy now.
Correct.
Or there is no vacancy as of the reference date or now, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. No other questions.
Ms. Nesbitt?
Yeah, I had a question about vacancy too. Why are you selecting a 7% cap?
Because I looked at the Collier's Q1 cap rate report, and I spoke to a friend of mine who was involved in real estate, and he says the strip mall is not a typical retail location because it wouldn't be like something you'd find on Keniston that has big box stores and national chains, basically mom and pop locations that would rent from us. So the rate would be a little higher than an investor would want a little bit more money with mom and pop tenants as opposed to big national chains. That was adjusted upwards.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. McIntyre?
I have no questions.
The numbers you gave us, what date were those as of?
April 1st, 2018.
Oh, okay. Just
Yeah.
wanted to clarify.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. We can move on to the next matter. The next matter is 55 Nassau, Unit 101. Mr. Assessor, please proceed when you're ready.
So file number 19-323, the roll number is 1203-275-8600. This is 101 55 Nassau Street North. Roll year under appeal 2020 with an April 1st, 2018 reference date. The assessed value under appeal $201,000. Class code 60 on this property and taxable. We currently have this listed as a commercial condo. It's one premise. We have a plan area of 898 square feet and a total leasable area that matches at 898 square feet. I do have a recommendation for this file. However, I'll kind of just get ahead of it in that you may consider some of this new information as there's a table of sales in here that does not appear in the brief. I can speak to it if you'd rather not have it entered in, but it does show the rationale behind the...
Perhaps you can show it to the applicant, see if he objects to it.
I don't object to it, that's fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Then it can be entered
Yeah.
if you don't object.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
So in this instance, the recommendation is based on a review of both residential sales within 55 Nassau Street and also commercial sales, commercial condo sales within the city of Winnipeg. The value in this reassessment cycle was done on a regression basis of direct comparables. Page 2, you'll see that the owner has responded to both of our requests for information. The subject sale history, they do show a sale March 3rd, 2005. I believe that the owner indicated that the sale price did include both units. So it looks like sometimes when it shows the sale, it'll show a multi-parcel sale or a multi-roll sale. And it appears that that's what this is. So it was 45 for the two, not 90 for both of them. There is a lease in place for this particular unit, signed July 1st, 2012, the 898 square feet at $10.02 a square foot. Page 3, you'll see the comparable sales from within the building of residential units. There is a range here in regards to the time-adjusted sale price per square foot. Now, if you look, comparables 1 through 4, these are all sales that occurred within the 4 months leading up to the reference date. The range here in regards to a time-adjusted price per square, time-adjusted sale price per square foot is $210.53, all the way up to $241.90. There doesn't appear to be any economies of scale going on if you look at these 4 sales. The original assessment did fall within that range. However, these units aren't finished in a residential manner, and it was part of the reason why we looked at the commercial condo sales in regards to trying to get an idea of what these kind of units are. So if you're looking at the recommendation page, you'll see that there are 8 commercial condo sales that we have occurring between December of 2015 all the way up to January of 2018. There is a range between $134.14 a square foot all the way up to $318.59 a square foot. The average here is $196.17 a square foot. That is what I'm using for the recommendation. So the calculation is shown at the bottom, 196 times the 898 to get $176,000 rounded. So that is my presentation for this property. I'm open to any questions.
Thank you. Have you reviewed the recommendation?
Yeah, I looked through it.
Are you willing to accept the
Yeah,
recommendation?
no, I understand it, yeah.
Okay, and you're...
I'm willing to accept this. It's not
Okay.
relative, but I'll discuss that in my part.
Oh, well, if you're accepting the recommendation, you don't have to make a presentation. You can just accept the 176.
No,
Oh.
no, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I thought
sorry.
what if I accepted this
Oh,
part?
no, I meant the...
No, I don't accept the 176.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, well, do you have any, so then let's get back. Do you have any questions for the assessor about his presentation?
No, just basically to confirm, those are all residential units, and there's no commercial units that you pulled for comparison.
So the 4 that you see on this page, these are all residential, and these are commercial condo units on this page here. So these aren't residential.
Okay.
Are those your questions?
That's it.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Nesbitt, do you have any questions?
So essentially, if I'm understanding this, you're putting more weight on the commercial condo prices
Correct. Yeah.
that you've determined rather than the residential ones.
Correct.
And the residential ones, are they furnished and set up like a residential? Sorry, I think you commented on that, but I wasn't paying enough attention. Are they more set up like and finished like a residential property?
Yeah, so these are apartment-style units. They have
Okay.
kitchens. They have all the facilities you'd expect in a condo unit.
Okay.
Whereas the subject property, may not have those things. They're converted for a specific commercial usage.
So it has, I'm just looking down here. I mean, it looks, if you're going across, it looks kind of the same, but you're saying it's really not the same.
Yeah, and if you just look at
Based on the building description, I wouldn't see that they're different.
Yeah, like the other thing too is these are main floor units that are under appeal, and that some of these units are higher up in the building.
I see that.
Yeah,
on the
so
8th floor.
it's not, they're not quite the same, and that's kind of where, they're good to look at as an idea of what the condo units may be selling for in that building, but I think ultimately, there needs to be some consideration for the fact that, the level of finish and the current form of the property doesn't match a
So when
residential.
you're looking at your commercial condo sales, I see that they're kind of in the downtown-ish area, right?
Yeah.
Are these a popular thing, or?
There's a lot more
none
of
in the
them. Yeah,
Osborne area?
No, it's just, they may not have sold
Okay.
in this time period, right?
Okay, these are the sales.
These are the ones that we had that were more recent, so if we're trying to stick to around the reference date, unfortunately, yeah, there is a lot that are kind of in the downtown area. There is one on Marion.
Maryland, yeah.
One on Maryland, one on Marion, but yeah, for the most part, it's the Exchange District.
So would the Exchange District have higher rents than Nassau? Like, would the location of some of these properties, with a different market area?
They may. I think it might be hard to speculate on what the effect on value would be for some of that stuff. But I mean, yeah, it's a totally valid point.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm looking at your averages anyway, so, okay, thank you.
Mr. McIntyre?
I have no questions.
Nor do I, so please proceed with your presentation.
So, the assessor's already touched on the purchase price and how that was done regarding Window being purchased $45,000. So, with the revenue approach for Unit 101, it's 898 square feet. The monthly net rent is $850. The annual rent is $10,200. The vacancy of 5%. Expected income is $9,690. Management fee 5%. Maintenance at 2%. Shortfall is $504, and the net income is $8,500 a year, and a cap rate of 8%. So the assessment is at $106,000, 338. These condos are unique in that they're not typical commercial condos in a commercial area, and any tenant that I find has to be approved by the residential condo board. So it's difficult to find tenants that satisfy the residential condo board. Also, there's no advertising allowed on exterior windows. Parking is quite hard, so they got to rely on foot traffic or people that live in the area. So it's a unique place in that it's a little harder to rent out due to those limits, and that would be the reason for the lower rent and the higher cap rate. And also, I find that using residential units isn't fair comparison because they're purchased for completely different reasons. They're purchased to live in. They have different financing regulations. People aren't buying them to invest, so their values are strictly based on what someone's willing to pay, as opposed to an investment purchase. That's it.
Thank you very much. Do you have questions for the applicant?
No questions.
Okay, Ms. Nesbitt?
What is this unit being used as?
One's a hair salon and one's a massage therapist.
What
This one's a hair
We'll
salon.
deal with the next one.
Sorry, hair salon.
It's a hair salon.
Correct.
And I guess, I sort of know 55 Nassau, but not that well, obviously. And it's servicing mostly the apartment?
Basically, people that live in the area, because parking is difficult, because they
Okay.
share the visitor parking with the entire building. It's not
Okay.
just strictly commercial visitor parking.
Okay,
Yeah.
and you say there's no advertising that
No
can be done?
advertising allowed in the outside windows.
Okay.
Yeah, the condo board's pretty strict on what they can and can't do there.
Okay.
So when I have someone interested in leasing this space, I give them the rules, and they're like, well, doesn't really help them as a business, right? So
And have you had difficulties leasing? Or
I
is
have
it
had.
fully leased now?
when I originally purchased it, it took over a year to lease it.
And what about as of January 1st, 2018?
I had the
Was it
same
leased?
tenant there right now that's been approved.
And
So,
how long has the tenant been there?
well, she actually switched over because she couldn't afford it, and someone else took it over. So she's been there from 2006.
From 2006?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. McIntyre?
So is the unit, was the unit originally a residential?
No, never.
So it's never had the kitchen or any of that?
No. It has plumbing for like laundry and the sinks and stuff, but it's never had a kitchen or anything like that. It used to be the CIBC bank. It has a vault in there,
Oh, okay.
if you remember that way back when.
I'm familiar with the building, but I don't remember the
Yeah,
CABC.
CABC is there.
Okay, that was my only question.
And I have no questions. So let me make a note for 1 second. Okay, the next matter is Unit 102 and 55 Nassau.
File number 19-322.
Sorry, can you just one?
It's the same brief.
It's the same brief?
Yeah, for the applicants, it's the
Oh.
same brief.
Go ahead.
No worries. File number 19-322, the roll number 1203-275-8700, the address 102-55 Nassau Street North, the roll year 2020 and April 1st, 2018 reference date. The assessed value under appeal, $120,000. Classification is 60 and taxable. And again, this is a commercial condo unit. One premise, this smaller premise of 418 square feet. Again, I have a recommendation. It's based on the same methodology I used on the previous file. I can circulate.
Please show it to the applicant first.
Sure. So it's basically the same table you saw on the last one. So as long as Mr. Bob is okay with it.
Thank you.
Yes, okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
No? That's okay, I'll grab it from one of them after.
Sure. Oh, I do have one more. There you go, sorry.
No, okay.
Okay, so again, we did receive both requests for the income information for this property. That's shown on page 2. We've addressed the sale, so I won't cover it again. Page 3, you'll see the same comparables that I used. These are residential units with a range and time-adjusted sale price per square foot between $210.53 all the way up to $241.90. Again, I thought it was more appropriate to look at the commercial condos and looking at the average for the commercial condo sales in regards to making a recommendation for this property. So the revised recommendation, or the revised value that I'm proposing as my recommendation is $196 a square foot times by the 418 square feet for a rounded value at $82,000 as shown on the recommendation page. Page 4 and 5, you'll see some photos of the subject property. Again, this is a main floor unit in a much larger high-rise condominium building. And that was all for my presentation for this property. Thank you. I'm open to any questions.
Thank you very much. Mr. Boba, again, you're aware of the recommendation. Are you
Yes.
accepting the recommendation? Okay, so do you have any questions for the applicant?
No.
I mean for the assessor?
No.
Okay, Ms. Nesbitt?
I have no questions.
Mr.
I have no
McIntyre?
questions.
Nor do I, so please proceed with your
Okay, so
presentation.
this is similar to the other unit, besides being smaller. Monthly rent is $475. Annual net rent is $5,700. The vacancy is 5%, is $285. Negative effective income is $5,400. The management fee at 5%. Maintenance at 2%, and the shortfall at $248 for net income of $4,787.44. The cap rate of 8% brings the market value of $59,900 $843. And basically the same things apply to this property as the other one in terms of the limits of advertising and the condo board approval.
Thank you very much. Do you have any questions?
No questions.
Ms. Nesbitt?
I have no questions.
Mr. McIntyre?
I have no questions.
Nor do I. Okay. Thank you very much.
That's it. Okay.
Leave it with us, and you'll receive our decision in a minute.
Thank you for your patience.
Thank you very much.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Okay, the next matter is 1015 Wilkes Avenue. Before we start, have you heard from, I believe, Fair Tax?
I have an email here that I can give you guys, if you guys like to see the correspondence, just to show that they had indicated that they accept the assessed value, however, that they would not withdraw and would not attend the hearing. So you can see on this email, on the back page is kind of where they first accept the value. So at the back, you'll see at the bottom there, we went through all of the different files that were on this particular docket. The file we're talking about, 19-4257, it looked like they were accepting the 623. I did try to send
Okay, sorry, I'm going to stop you for a minute. We have to adjourn and review this for a minute.
Sure.
So we can take
Yeah,
a recess, please, and ask you. All right, I'll call this meeting back to order. Please proceed with your presentation.
File number 19-4257. The roll number is 1209-752-5500. The address is 1015 Wilkes Avenue. Roll year under appeal 2020, April 1st, 2018 reference date, and an assessed value of $623,000. I am proposing that the value be confirmed, and that because there's no reduction in value, that there's no non-compliance or any penalty to be dealt with.
Great, thank you very much. I will now close the hearing today. Thank you. Good afternoon.